Hello and welcome to another SciFirst MovieTalk episode. In this episode I will be discussing Disney's 1967 animated classic, The Jungle Book. Not of course the live action remakes released in 1994 and 2016 respectively. Watched again as part of our family film night. By my reckoning, depending on your thoughts on what constitutes a movie included as part of the Disney Animation Classics range, this would be Disney's 19th such animated classic. Directed by Wolfgang Reitherman, the movie is based on the classic series of children's tales written by Rudyard Kipling, which has been beloved for absolute generations, and given the rework in this movie in only the way Disney could. The movie sees a young boy, Mowgli, being raised by a pack of wolves in the middle of the Indian jungle, after being found alone as a baby some years back. But there comes news through the jungle that Shere Khan, the fearsome tiger, is returning to the area of the jungle where Mowgli and the wolf pack live. And that is well known that he basically hates humans, especially man cubs, as per the term used for Mowgli in the movie, and has vowed to hunt him down. So amongst the wolves, they are concerned for the safety of Mowgli and indeed their pack, and agree reluctantly that Mowgli should be taken to the nearest human village. Now, what I must stress is that the film uses the terms man cub and man village throughout. I have tried to reduce my use of those terms as much as I can, but the use in this episode in no way is meant to derogatize the value of women. Not having read the Rudyard Kipling stories, I would assume that the terminology sort of stems from there. I appreciate that the term isn't quite PC in the modern world, but for our purposes, I am assuming that the terminology of man cub and man village are an abbreviation for humankind in general. Of course, to show distinction of Mowgli from the animals residing in the jungle. Like many Disney films, this does involve a number of talking animals. The fact that all the different species we encounter speak the same language and can understand each other is obviously quite impressive. Impressive even more that this is a skill that Mowgli has also picked up. Anywho, to get back on track to the plot, after being sidetracked, a Black Panther known as Bagheera, well, hang on, we'll sidetrack again. Black Panther's probably about as fearsome as a tiger, but we won't go there. Agrees to escort Mowgli on his journey and ensure that he gets to the village safely. The film then basically plots their journey through the jungle. Along the way, we encounter some hilarious characters, from those in the elephant parade to the cheeky and persistent monkeys, led by the ever-larger-than-life orangutan King Louie, and of course everybody's favourite, Baloo, the big, lovable, jazz-loving, prickly bear. For those of you that remember The Jungle Book or have seen it recently, I am sure you will agree that it contains some of the more iconic songs from Disney of that early era, and not just iconic in the sense that people remember them, but as some of the most beloved sing-along songs for children that I know of. I remember doing The Jungle Book, goodness knows how many times, as either a player or in a choir at school. My son, who would watch the film with us as part of this, or for the review, absolutely loved it. And we could see him tapping his toes and singing the words. He knew them, and when we quizzed him, basically they've been singing the songs with him at school too. I think even in a remix, sometime before, to the music on The Jungle Book, certainly in the Night Kingdom they did, back when I was younger. So again, it's these iconic songs that they keep rehashing and bringing back out for generation after generation. There are a few dark times in the movie, but for the most part, it's very colourful. For its time, it is brilliantly animated. And thanks to its musical numbers, it has a real upbeat tempo, a real jazz feel to it. And it's jazz that underpins the musical tone of the movie. It's easy to see why this is one of the most beloved and iconic Disney films that has ever been made, and continues to stand the test of time, in my opinion. At least the songs do. I mean, you know, apart from the villains of the movie, the tiger, Shere Khan, and the snake, Kaa, it does have a real good kind of togetherness vibe. You know, no matter what your background, species, in this particular case, I suppose, you know, everybody can help each other get along, monkeys aside, but really, they're just being mischievous when all's said and done, and there's never really any real sense that they ever meant any harm to Mowgli. The other villain, if you like, that I've just touched on is Kaa, an Indian python, who does try on a number of occasions to make Mowgli basically into his meal. Although he does get quite close to succeeding, he never really does, and ultimately fails with hilarious consequences, which had my son in absolute stitches. He's foiled at the last minute each and every time, just when he thinks he's getting somewhere. A sequel to the movie was in fact released in 2003 at the cinema, I believe, and so this isn't one of those straight to video or no DVD, Blu-ray even, sequels that Disney do love to churn out these days. I haven't yet seen the film yet, and at the time this episode was made, and so I can't comment on what that film is like. By all means, do let me know if you have, but I do believe that the sequel isn't part of the Disney Animated Classic range, though. So to close, The Jungle Book was an extremely enjoyable entry from Disney's early classics range for all of our family, and contains a collection of iconic and very upbeat songs that will all have you singing along and definitely tapping your feet. So that brings me to the end of this episode. Thank you very much for watching. If you have liked this review, and obviously any of my other ones, please do hit that subscribe button. Please do leave a like on this video or any others on my channel. But thank you for watching. If you've got any, obviously, comments and ideas for any upcoming SciFirst Movie Talk episodes, films you'd like me to watch, discussions you'd like to do, etc., please do let me know. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching again, and goodbye.